Welcome once again, friend. Today we will be discussing the part 7 of most commonly repeated one-liners in ENT. Myself, Dr. Naren Singh Chauhan. So, starting with the question number 1, which says that the function of ear ossicle, that is one of the most important function of ear ossicle is impedance matching. So, what actually impedance matching is? As we know that the inner ear contains fluid, whereas the external ear and the middle ear has air. So when the sound waves travel from external ear, middle ear to inner ear, because of change in media, the media here is air and in inner ear it is fluid. 99.9% of the sound is reflected back. So to overcome this 99.9% sound which is reflected back, middle ear act as a transformer, and middle ear actually contains our ear ossicles. So middle ear act as a transformer. The actual word of the transformer here is that it increases the force of any sound that enters the middle ear, so that more of the sound can now enter the middle ear than most of it's getting reflected back. So the loss of sound is lower as compared to earlier. This is known as impedance matching, which is due to the change in media between the inner ear and the external and middle ear. So we have to keep in mind function of ear. One of the important function of ear ossicles is impedance matching. And second important question is 99.9% of the sound that transmitted to middle ear is inner ear is reflected back. So transformer of the ear is middle ear. So 3 questions are there out of 1 question. Now question number 2, it says that ratio of tympanic membrane to oval window. Ratio of tympanic membrane to oval window is 17:1. So how we come to this ratio? That is the effective vibratory area of tympanic membrane, as we discussed in earlier parts, that is the 55 mm square. And the area of footplate of the stapes, that is which covers the oval window, that is 3.2 mm square. So ratio of tympanic membrane to oval window is actually the ratio of effective vibratory area of tympanic membrane, that is 55 mm square, and 3.2 mm square, that is the area of footplate of stapes, resulting into the ratio of 17:1. So there are 3 questions out of this also. One is the effective vibratory area of tympanic membrane. Question number 1, that is 55 mm square. The area of footplate of step is 3.2 mm square, and the ratio of tympanic membrane to oval window is 17:1. This completes the question number 2. Now coming to the question number 3. Question number 3 says lever ratio is the lever ratio in this case is 1.3:1. So how we come to this ratio? We know that the long handle of Malleus. What is the handle of Malleus? Handle of Malleus is 1.3 times longer than the long process of incus. Handle of Malleus is 1.3 times longer than the long process of incus, because of which incus moves 1.3 times. Incus moves 1.3 times greater than the handle of Malleus, resulting into the ratio that is 1.3:1. So handle of Malleus is 1.3 times the long process of incus. Now, question number 4, which is a direct question which says resonance of tympanic membrane is. The resonance of tympanic membrane is 1000 to 3000 Hz. We have to keep this in mind. Resonance of tympanic membrane is 1000 to 3000 Hz. Question number 5. Ear ossicles effectively or efficiently transfer sound of which frequency? That is, ear ossicle can efficiently transfer sound of 500 to 2000 Hz. This is also a direct question. We have to learn it. That is, ear ossicles 500 to 2000 Hz. Now, coming on to the question number 6, that says Rinne test is negative if minimum deafness is 15 to 20 decibel. Until and unless there is a minimum deafness of around 15 to 20 decibel, till then Rinne test doesn't show any result. That is, it's negative for 15 to 20 decibel. Whereas the minimum hearing loss for Weber test to laterize is 5 decibel. So from this we can say that the Weber test is more sensitive as compared to Rinne test, because it is positive even when lateralized, even when the hearing loss is less as compared to in the Rinne test. Coming on to the question number 8, which says that Gillette test is done in. The Gillette test is done in otosclerosis. The Gillette test is done in otosclerosis. What we do in Gillette test is we put a tuning fork in the mastoid area and simultaneously we put the pneumatic bulb Siegel in the external auditory canal, and when we increase the pressure with the help of pneumatic bulb of the external auditory canal and saw for change in the hearing loss. As we increase the pressure of in the external auditory canal with the help of pneumatic bulb, the ossicular chain gets straightened up, which brings a conductive hearing loss. So, if there is an increase in hearing, that is because we create a conductive hearing loss, so the tuning fork will hear better. It is placed on the mastoid, which is a bone conduction. That's why if hearing get increased on increasing the pressure of the external ear, then it shows that ossicular chain is intact. Whereas if ossicular chain is already compromised, as in case of otosclerosis, there is no change in hearing loss, then it is known as Gillette test. Gillette test is used for checking the otosclerosis in the affected ear. Now, coming on to the symbols which are used in pure tone audiometry. We have to learn these symbols. We have to learn anyhow. We have to make some mnemonics also, because this is most commonly repeated question in one year or second year. This is in the NEET PG exam. That is, first we will for the left ear. So for left ear, symbol X or symbol cross in the PTA is used to mark the air conduction in the left ear. Okay. Air conduction in the left ear is used the symbol X, and air conduction in right ear we use the symbol O. We use the symbol O. For right ear we use the symbol O, or we can say 0, or for the left ear we use the symbol X. Whereas for unmasked or unmasked for bone conduction in the right ear we use the symbol this, lesser than whereas in left ear we used a symbol this, greater than. There are many more symbols either for masked, unmasked, but we have to remember these 4 symbols. For air conduction in left ear we use the symbol X. For air conduction in right ear we use the symbol O. And for bone conduction in left ear we use the symbol greater than. And for bone conduction in right ear we use the symbol lesser than. So this concludes our part 7 of the most important MCQs in ENT. If you like the video, kindly share and subscribe and stay tuned, because in the series many parts are still on the way. Thank you.